All right, so we're live now. It is Wednesday, January 25th, or it's Thursday, January 26th, depending on where you're watching from. And it's still the 25th for you, or the 26th, Jason?
It is the morning at 9 a.m. Of the 26th. So it is Thursday.
Well, it's nice to have you. I thought I'd bring you right up front this time, so we can actually co-host instead of, me just running the show.
and me coming in late.
Yeah, there's always that, So anyway, I guess Walter's sharing out the link. So yeah, we have two special guests today. We have Walter Hebert from Camp Hope in Winnipeg, or outside of Winnipeg, Manitoba. And we have Marie Gibbs, and she's from New Zealand, and she will be on the show a little bit later on. We'll be bringing Walter and Marie on at the same time. We'll introduce them, but then, we'll have some discussions with them.
And we'll also be joined by Marie's sidekick, Kiri McKee. Sorry about that. I just sent the name to you. Kiri McKee is her name, and she's the coordinator at their camp. And so both ladies are at the camp.
At which camp is that? Tetoka? Is that how you say it?
Camp Tetoka. Yep, they're camped out at a place called Mount Messenger, which is a mountain range in New Zealand. And currently, the New Zealand Transport Association is trying to bulldoze it to build a highway. Remember that song? What is it? Destroy Paradise to put up a parking lot.
Yeah, pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
Yeah, that's the sort of situation going on there.
All right, as far as I know, that's okay. So that's Camp Tetoka.
Camp Tetoka.
Okay, so we'll have Marie on a little bit later, and you said you have a video queued up.
Yes, I've got a video queued up for Walter's messaging. He has a daily quote. So I've got one of his lovely daily quotes lined up, and I've also got a quick explainer video that Marie sent me from her YouTube channel.
Excellent. Hi, Barb. Hi, Stephanie. Glad you guys could join us. Okay, well, I guess without further ado, we'll bring Walter on. How's that sound? Or let's play the video first, and then I'll bring him on.
All right, then.
A little bit of the introduction.
Let's see if I'm still sharing, so you'll have to turn that baby on. Okay, if you just share the screen, I'll be ready to hit play. All right, awesome. Okay, let's get it into a white screen. Boom.
Savior, believe in our government.
You gotta rewind it.
If we don't believe...
it jumped ahead.
This four camels, they want to tell you something. This camel represents freedom. If we have freedom in our country, and if we have freedom in our heart, when we lose freedom, therefore this camel is out. This camel represents belief. As long as we believe on our Savior, believe in our government, if we don't believe anymore, therefore this camel is out.
Oops.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
This camel represents love. If we have love for each other, and we have love in our heart, if we lose everything, therefore this camel is out.
Oh, lovely connection today.
This camel represents hope. As long as we have hope in our heart, and that we have hope in our government, and if we come together and have hope, therefore, with hope, we can light love, we can light belief, we can light freedom. As long as we have freedom, belief, love, and hope, therefore, these four camels, they will burn.
That's wonderful. Excellent. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to bring on Walter Hebert onto the show from Camp Hope in Manitoba, Canada. Oops.
This
Hi,
for
Walter.
camels.
Oops,
They
hang
want to
on.
tell you something.
I'll take this one out for now. Hi, Walter. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How are you guys?
We're not too bad, Walter. Happy you're here.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for having me here. And I'm always glad to be seeing you. That is a good thing.
Yeah, it's been a
And
long time.
Jason, I never met you, Jason, before, but I hope so. You're going to be as good as I want to be.
Yeah, it's nice that you guys finally meet. So, Walter, how's the family?
It is very, very good. We are in a very, very busy season right now, but everything is very fantastic. God is great. You know what? We got blasted so much, and He always put us back on probation to see if we are still awake of it. So we are very, very good and blessed to have good people like you and you guys in our life. That is always the good part.
Thank you, Walter. So, you're excited for the upcoming events at Camp Hope. Why don't you explain Camp Hope a little bit? Because there will be people in New Zealand watching this. So, explain
Mm.
Camp Hope.
Okay, I will do a very quick rundown. I am a redneck, and I am an ordinary redneck from South America, Paraguay. That's where I am originally from. And you probably see it, I'm a little bit on the shabby side because I am a barbecuer. I love my barbecuing. And that is what I always do. And I have also a YouTube channel. It calls Redneck Lifestyle. So redneck lifestyle. There's two names. That is where you see me you on the funnier side usually. And so when I heard that the convoy is coming up in 2002, and something it sparked me. It just interests me. I don't know why. I'm not a convoyer. I'm anything like that. I'm a barbecuer. But it came about food again, and where is food, there is Walter. Usually that's how it goes, right? And so I went with the convoy and helped feeding the convoy and everything there, and being with the people. And the one problem about me is I'm very shy. I usually don't go talk to too many people, you know. But I came up and people start talking, so I had to talk. And I made it videos too, and on my YouTube channel. And I had an interest and desire going to Ottawa, and I just couldn't do it. It was just impossible. It too much work, and but it still I really liked it. And I watched videos, I share videos, how people on the street dancing, and there's a church service and everything, just amazing. Like, and it was a little bit like if you have a kids and you give them candy or want to give them candies, you know, bribe them with the candies. It just was that's how what I wanted. So one day God just put it in my mind, Walter, you need to go to Ottawa. And how I did it, I still don't know. God made it work. So I went home. I told my wife, I said, I'm going to Ottawa. She says, I need you to go too. I want you to see that you are going. Then she says, but you have to have somebody. I said, I'll quickly call a couple guys up. So I called three guys up, and they said, oh, yes. And we are off to Ottawa. We want to go to the street party, to the good party, you know? That's what we wanted to do. And we came to Ottawa. We came to the party, but it was wrong. It was the opposite side. That was where we had to fight with the police. That party we came, and I
Oh,
got pepper sprayed twice in the face,
Wow.
guys. And it was like in a war zone. I was right in the front line. If you guys go back on my YouTube channel, Redneck Lifestyle, you guys go back to February, you will see all the lives there. And I did it right live to the from the front, and it was scary, but somehow God gave me the power to be in front. And then the first time before I got pepper sprayed in the face, there was a lady, a very small nurse in front of me. She was begging and crying to the police to come to our side, help us. And the police did not say anything. All of a sudden, right behind the other police, another police comes up with pepper sprays her in the face and one side of my face. And she went down, and the police went like this to grab her. But right away, I grabbed her by the stomach. I pulled whatever the police was pulling, and I was pulling. But I pulled so fast. I don't know, out of anger or I don't know exactly what, but I pulled her, yanked her off, and turned backwards. And other people took her and took her away and washed her face. So I went to the back and I had to wash my face and with snow, and you see it on the video there too, where I'm washing my face with snow. It was the pepper spray, like it wasn't from my half of my face, like all the way down. And then I figured, you know what? On that side, because I was on the street in front of the parliament, I was on the left side. I figured, you know what? That's where the pepper spray. I'm going to go to the right side of the whole crowd, on the right side of the street. There was a big gentleman standing there, even bigger than me. And he had his hands like this, and he did not move. The police were pushing, and you see the police line moving like that. And I figure I'm going to stand behind him. Now I'm going to be safe. You're not going to pepper spray me now. And so I am happy focusing on the horses, that the horses will come up all of a sudden, you know. And, well, sure enough, this guy did not move, and I was safe behind her until another police comes and pepper sprays him in the face and pepper sprays me on the other side of my face. Oh, my. And then, but that was such a big dude, I couldn't even grab him. And then there was a police coming right to this guy with the baton, like this, a baton, and hit him on the head. He went down. The police grabbed him and pulled him to the back and threw him in a van and brought him out of town about 15 miles out and just dropped him off there. It doesn't matter, you know. That is what they had to, what they did there. And it was just, I mean, absolutely in a war zone kind of. But long story short, I'm going to cut lots off here. But then that evening, I went back to the hotel with a very heavy heart too. Just my heart was heavy. And so I figured, you know what, I'm going to go take a shower. But one thing I have never thought about pepper spray, and that I'm going to warn you guys, if you ever get pepper spray, please go wash your face before you go take a shower. I was dumb enough, and I took my clothes off into the shower, and all that pepper spray went down into my crotch, and I screamed in the shower. And the boys said, "What's wrong, Walter? What's wrong?" I said, "That shit burns." Oh, I
Wow. Yep.
Thank you for that tip, Walter. I'll keep that in mind.
Wash your face.
Beautiful.
So, but that was just a little bit of fun story into there. But that was, I know for next time, never ever go take a shower before you wash yourself up. And but anyway, that night I had a dream, and I had just an amazing dream. And God took me in a dream, and here where we built Camp Hope, that was a racetrack there. And God took me to in that dream to the racetrack there, and God said to me, we were standing and overlooking at the racetrack. God says, "Walter, I want you to build something here." I said, I looked at God. I says, "What do you want me to build here?" He says, "This is my racetrack." And he says, "Walter, I want you to build something to bring people together, to unite people." And I looked at God, and I just cannot describe him. When I looked him in the face, that guy, he was so full of love, so peaceful, just so, his voice was so calm and so soft and just so loving. Like, I just wish I was like that, or I had that. But the thing is, I try every day over and over again. And he says, "Walter, I want you to build something here." And he took me into another room by a computer screen, And by the computer screen, he showed me, and I saw a racetrack on there, and we were standing and looking there. and there was on one side of the racetrack there was lots of black dots that looked like ants moving back and forth. And then I looked at him and I wanted to say, what do I do? He was gone. There was nobody there, just myself. And I looked at the table again, and then I wanted to touch the table. I woke up. So that is usually when you have the best dream and then you wake up. So I figured, you know what? That's just dream. And you know that Jody also that we as Mennonites, we are trained. Dreams are never real. You know, dreams are dreams. Who cares about dreams?
Yeah.
And that's basically me. You know what? No, it's not a dream. But there was always when we were in Ottawa and we left Ottawa, we had the whole convoy here for Dennis Platt, the funeral. The guy what passed away in Ottawa, while he was in Ottawa, a trucker, came back. He passed away in a hospital all by himself. And I don't want to say too much, but something wasn't right there that he passed away just like that. It was too fast.
I remember.
But anyway, that happened, and we had a whole thing.
Yeah, you guys had
a convoy here at our house, and then from our house we moved. There was another camp already. We called it Camp 330. That was the people from Winnipeg what moved out, and then we had a Camp 330 out there. And so we collaborated both camps, and then when we did a camp. And I was more newer with the Facebook thing, and I just put on Facebook, hey, who wants friends? Who needs food? Come on out to Camp 30. You know, that's what I put on Facebook. I figured, you know what the heck? Advertisement. That was my advertisement, what I did. And one day I was just cooking there, minus 35, cooking outside in the elements and with doing French fries. And as I did French fries, there's a lady coming behind me, tapping me on my back. Looked around. She says, are you Walter? I said, yeah. She says, can I hug you? I said, definitely you can hug me. Come here. I gave her a hug and she held on. And all of a sudden she started crying. And that started melting my heart. And then I says, I hugged her for a while. I held her for a while. I says, what's wrong? And she says, Walter, you saved my life. I says, no, how would I save your life? I don't do stuff like that. I make food. I just have fun. She says, Walter, you had an ad in your Facebook. My second neighbor showed me that ad. And she says, Walter, I wanted to commit suicide. Next day, I have everything ready. But she says, I have nothing to lose. I'll just go and look at it. You need friends, you need food, you need a fellowship. She says, I come out here. She says, Walter, I am here for 3 hours. For the last 3 hours, I have more hugs and more love than I had in the last 10 years, she says. She says, now you open my eyes. Now I know where reality, my family hasn't talked to me for the last 5 years already. They don't want to have nothing to do with me. And so that it just such amazing stories what came out there. And
wow.
So on that,
truly amazing. It's really truly amazing. And actually, it's very similar to our next guest. There's something similar about someone passing, but someone very important actually passing away. And let's see if we can bring her in. Can we?
Yeah, I'm bring in Marie Gibbs right now. She's in New Zealand. So Walter, you're going to meet Marie, okay? Yeah. So here she is. Hi, Marie.
Kia ora.
Welcome to
Marie. How are you?
Hi, Marie.
Good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. So I understand you run a Hope. Te Taka? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Te Toka. So yeah, we're up on the top of Mount Messenger at the moment, or near the top. We've been here since the 2nd of November. And before that, in the winter in August, September, we also occupied for almost a month, just up at the top as well. So yeah, we're just up here trying to save 2 beautiful valleys One's the Mangapepeke Valley, and it's a beautiful natural 18-hectare wetland, just natural and undisturbed. And it's the valley sides are like old growth indigenous forests. Some of the trees are, hundreds if not thousands of years old. And the New Zealand Transport Agency are wanting to put a road through it, a state highway. So we've been involved in this project since 2016, and they're just starting to come up and make moves to, start felling trees and things like that. So yeah, things are escalating, and we're just trying to get them to change the option and just upgrade the existing road that's here and not destroy all that. There's 47 species of protected wildlife in there. We've got kiwi, bats, there's 23 species of native birds, Archie's frogs. The wetlands are full of tuna, eels, little native crayfish, our little whitebait species. It's just teeming with life, and that's what we're trying to protect.
I love fish. I really do love fish.
You like
we love them too.
You like cooking fish, Walter? Barbecuing fish.
I like everything. I like to eat them. I like to fish them.
So Marie, what kind of a camp? What is the? How would you describe it? What is the mission statement, or what exactly are you trying to preserve there? How would you define what you have there?
So we're just trying to preserve the whole ecosystem and environment that's down below us. It's a 4-kilometre long valley, and it's just in its natural state. It's untouched. All the native animals that live there, and the ancient trees, the stream, the wetland, it's just all untouched. We're just trying to protect it and leave it in its natural state, because in this day and age where all our wetlands have just about been lost, and there's only sort of 4 or 5% left, and we're having all these climate crisis, and the world's like signing agreements to preserve our wetlands and things like that. It just doesn't make sense in 2023 that New Zealand's Transport Agency is wanting to put a state highway through it when there's a cheaper alternative that doesn't do all that environmental damage.
Yeah, and if you go back to sorry there, Walter, if you go back to some of these little highways that they're putting up all over New Zealand, in some cases they're only saving like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, so this one's going to save 25 seconds. The difference between the highway they're trying to build and the one we are trying to get them to change to is 25 seconds. It just doesn't make any sense to us.
That's makes no sense. No, that's just ignorance showing right there.
Yeah.
I understand there's a Camp Warren, Camp Warren.
Yeah, we do have a Camp Warren down in the valley. So on our first occupation, which was at the top of the mountain, that was Taumata Mahoe, we had quite a big occupation up there, a big central wharenui where we all gathered and ate, and then we had lots of tents all around and camper vans and that sort of thing. So yeah, in the last couple of weeks when we were there, we had a crew come up from Shelley Bay, which was from another occupation, and stay with us. And yeah, one of the gentlemen that come up there, his name was Warren Matahaere, and so when we were arrested off there in September, he actually passed away just a few days later. So yeah, in his memory, we've set up Camp Warren. He was actually going to go into the valley, and that was where he was going to camp and protect the valley down there. And he unfortunately passed away. So we carried on with the camp and named it Camp Warren in his memory. But he was a veteran standing up for land rights in New Zealand. He had been to over 70 occupations, had almost 40 arrests. So no, he was a very, very inspiring man, very humble and resolute in what he believed in. And yeah, we just...
That's a pretty impressive record. 40 arrests. That's pretty outstanding for a Kiwi.
Yeah,
he'll be getting his Harley in heaven. That's for sure.
Yeah. So this was his last arrest. So yeah, I don't know if that's something to be proud of for us or not, but we got arrested alongside him as well. So yeah, it was just a special thing to be standing up for alongside some very special people. That's one of the most special things that's happened to us in the last 6 years, just meeting all these like-minded people and people that are, standing up for what's really important, standing up against, the government corruption and their bad intentions and that whole money-making industry that drives everyone.
So it's nice that we're all in this together. Hey, Canada and New Zealand. It's really important that we all stick together. That's one of the reasons why I've started doing these lives, is I want to kind of just connect us more and do some more networking, because it is important that we build each other up and we encourage each other wherever we are. That keep on fighting.
Let me ask you, what are you doing in your camp there?
So at our camp, so we're right by the main road. So we're here. We've got a main highway just behind us. So we're up here getting the story out. So the New Zealand Transport Agency don't really want people knowing and talking about what the alternative is to all this destruction down here. So one of the reasons we're here is just to send that message. We haven't gone away, and we're not going away, and we will get the option changed to option Z this year. And so, yeah, that's why we're here. Another reason we're here is this is one of the access points for the project to get down into the valley. They go down into the bush behind us and access the valley. I'm actually here with Tony and Debbie Pascoe. They own land in the valley down there, and they've got a few cattle down there, a small number of cattle grazing down there. So one of the reasons we're up here is we've trespassed the New Zealand Transport Agency from going down there and disturbing the Pascoes and their livestock. They've been doing it for many years. So we're up here to make sure that stops. So you're camping there to basically you're like the first line of defense there for the land. Is that absolutely. Okay.
Are there more people there with you guys, or are just you?
Yeah, so there's a few people here. So we've got Robin Martin here. Robin's from Ngāti Tama, so this is a joint Potama and Ngāti Tama occupation. We've got, to show you around a little bit, you might not be able to see in here very well, but we've got, where are we? Carl Barclays from Operation Good Oil. I was just watching one of your other podcasts where you had Gabrielle on. So
hi, Carl. Good to see you again, mate.
We know Carl. He's been on my show. Hi, Carl.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got Homoana Whites, Potama Rangatira. He's been up here occupying at this occupation and our one earlier on as well. We've got Russell Gibbs from Potama. And just turn you around here. Where are we? Who have I got there?
Can I ask, is Russell your partner?
He's my brother.
Brother, okay. But because there was the same last name there, so I wasn't sure what the relationship was.
Yeah, my brother. So this is Debbie Pascoe and Tony Pascoe here. So Yeah,
What do
they've
you guys?
been.
Man, that looks so nice and green behind there. So I wish I could come out there. Right now, we have lots of white stuff here. You should probably take some snow from over here that way because you guys could use it there.
Yeah, we're in the middle of summer here.
Oh boy, oh boy, boy. We are in the middle of winter here, and we have a very big fest coming up in February, and at Camp Hope here, and we as Camp Hope, what we are doing when I built this camp, it is to bring people back together, unite people, and just really show the love and help the people what lost their hope. You know, there are so many people, and right now I am working on. Across Canada to put bring the youth back together because we have a lot of things with the youth here right now that they are committing suicide from very young age. They commit suicide already, and that is one thing where I'm working and focusing on very much right now to bring the youth back out of their houses, get them off their phones, and start talking because. When they go out, the youth doesn't talk anymore. Everybody they sit in circles and they're just on their phones. Everybody on their phones and they text each other instead talking. And that is what we have to as parents. We have to work on it to teach the kids that is an addiction. That's an addiction. Like a lot of people, they have problem and addiction with drinking or that, and this is a phone addiction, and that is very very big here. And my daughter's one of her friends before Christmas, 16 years old, it was nothing, had no more hope, and committed suicide. And here in Winnipeg, a 17-year-old kid, he talked to his dad and he said, asked his dad, "What's left? There's nothing left." And he committed suicide. He hung himself on a ceiling fan. And I had about a month ago, I had a meeting with an 18-year-old kid, and a very shy kid. And I met him, and he says, "I would like to talk to you." So I took him out for lunch, and I talked to this kid, and this kid had nothing left, like nothing. He literally asked me. He says, "Walter, is there anything left? The government took everything away from us. The churches, we cannot trust them anymore. Soon as there's a pandemic, they close the doors. There's nothing anymore left." He says, "Walter, what do you think? Isn't that better to go to the assisted suicide, go to the hospital?" I saw the video. He says, "You go to the hospital, you lay down in the bed, and you watch a video, and they give you a needle, and you just fall asleep, and you're gone." And I says, "No, that's not that." I says, "Do you know that there's God, what is over us, that he loves us?" I says, "We have to stand up." He says, "Yeah, but they are scary. They scare you." And I says, "Well, then read in the Bible, Psalm 23. I showed him that. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not fear." You know, and that's the things with our youth where we have problem now with. And I'm trying to work on it and to bring youth back together and trying to work on youth conferences and stuff like that, because that is what we need to do. We need to bring awake the people and show and tell the people there is hope. And now in February that we have the big thing from February 17th to the 21st. And I don't know, but I got messages. I thought about 800 people, but the talk has been from 2,500 to 5,000 people are coming all to Camp Hope. Right now we have 200 acres here, and that is what we are trying to help people with, you know. But I try to do regular updates. I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't know how to do
Yeah,
that.
we have the links. We can put the links in the conversation, Walter.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is our YouTube channel, and that's where I give updates. But the biggest thing is that we have to put our differences to the side and just come out and just work together, you know. And there's a lot of people what we can help, but there's a lot of people they don't want to help themselves. And if they don't want to help themselves, you cannot help them. And that is the biggest thing what we want to do, you know. And also we have different groups of people here. We have people, they want to relive the convoy. The convoy was once, that's it. The convoy, there is only one convoy. That convoy is over. Like, and they're trying
That's
to
right.
live in the past again, and that does not work. And that is, then they start struggling, and then they right away come up, oh yeah, nobody loves me anymore. There's no more hope. And that is our biggest thing, what we are focusing on here. And every market we do community markets. Once a month we do community markets, and we bring people. We run through one community market from 200 to 500 people on a market, and we have it very clear. Me and my wife, and Judy knows this, that Rosie knows that we do hugs. We believe on hugs. We don't do handshake. The hug, that is your heart with the other heart coming together. You feel the real love, and that is what we want to do. We want to give the people the real love. But right now, because this whole convoy is coming to Camp Hope here, we got attacked left and right center. I am getting threats and all different kind of threats, and a lot of phone calls, private phone calls, and they're telling me, Walter, if you're going to move forward with this, we're going to make sure we're going to come down there. We're going to burn the trucks down. We're going to burn everything down. That is a scare tactic what they're trying to use. But the thing is, every day, on the end of the day, when I go down on my knees and I pray to God, and I pray for all the people, and even the people who are against us. And that is the thing what we have to try to do. We have to try to show the real love. And what if we're going to do right, the more we do right, the more people will be against us, because they don't want you to succeed. And I am not in here to be recognized or to be praised. I rather help people and stand on the sideline and watch what they do. When you see a lot of people in circles and they laugh and they hug each other and they love, that's what my heart makes. And that is what I see from New Zealand. I would love to come out there too and just see your area. And Marie, what you are doing there, like, you are doing such an incredible job, and we will pray for you guys there, and that you can stand forward, Marie. That is such a good thing. And always think about it, your legacy. It is not what you are doing today. It is your legacy, what is going to live on when you are gone. Like you were just saying from the man, my heart just melted when you were telling about that man. He passed away. You are keeping his legacy alive. And if you will stand up, Marie, your legacy will move on. And it just, praise the Lord for that there's still people like that.
Yeah, that's right. It's really important. How's the relationship with the local Blue Boys down there?
For
Marie?
us, yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, we did end up getting arrested off the top there in September. There's kind of different groups within the police force. There's the iwi liaison team, and they work really hard with us and for us to look after our people here. And then seems to be some other groups in the police force that maybe aren't protecting our rights so well, like our rights to freedom of movement, and like we've been trespassed off state highways and things like that. The NZTA have been trying to trespass us off road to try and landlock us so that we can't actually access land that we're legally entitled to access. So yeah, just there's some issues there around whether NZTA and the police are actually they're actually starting to infringe on our basic human rights, freedom of movement, freedom of expression. So yeah, and initially we had some interesting interactions with the police. There's actually some quite good live footage on our Facebook pages. When we came back here on the 2nd of November, the police were coming quite hard and strong. They come in on the 4th. We'd been here 2 days, and this bay in front of us was just full of cops and police cars and paddy wagons. They were pretty intent on arresting us. Like at that time, there were basically 4 women you know, we're just mums, and we're just, you know, occupying this piece of grass here that nobody actually uses. So yeah, they come in quite hard. They ended up not having the grounds to arrest us. They closed the road, and we had a standoff for about 4 or 5 hours. And at the end of the day, they had to just turn around and leave because they had no right to remove us. Yeah, since then the police have really left us alone, except interestingly enough, one of the local police sergeants has left the police force and has been employed by the New Zealand Transport Agency on this project. So that's been an interesting development. The NZTA project team have been coming up here and stealing our private property, like stealing our flags and our signs and things like that. And last year when we made a police complaint and tried to get them back, nothing happened because, of course, the police sergeant that was meant to be investigating them, unbeknown to us, he was actually prospecting for a job for the New Zealand Transport Agency. So, yeah, when we kind of figured all that out, the police sergeant that's in Waitara now, the new police sergeant, she got our gear back straight away for us when we made a formal complaint just after Christmas. So, yeah, things have seemed to have changed in the police a bit. Yeah, they've pretty much been leaving us alone lately. We have been asking them for their help to try and stop the New Zealand Transport Agency project team coming and disturbing the Pasco's animals where they're grazing. So, yeah, we're getting there. We work hard on our relationships, trying to keep relationships with our, you know, police people and even the people that work on the project. Like, there's no, you know, we've got security guards that come and surveil us every few hours, and we're on good terms with them as well. We understand that the people that are working on the project, it's not their choice that they're trying to be down there destroying this valley. So where we've been trying to engage with the New Zealand Transport Agency is at the highest level where they're making those decisions on where they are putting the road through. So we've been trying to engage with the board of NZTA and with their chief executive, just to trying to address and resolve some of these issues and try and get the option changed.
I understand we've got a video that we'd like to show right now. If Jason wants to, I'll set it up here. I believe it's about one about Walter. So this one's about you, Marie, and your cause here. So I'm just gonna take a look. It's not backstage yet, Jason. Oh, there we are. How we doing, Jason? Seems to be lagging quite a bit, eh?
Yeah,
So
and it's actually completely loaded, because you can see there it's already loaded, but it keeps reverting back. So it might be the connection today, but I'll reduce the size of it. Yeah, it seems to be the connection.
It is usually the censorship also. The censorship usually goes big time like that too.
yeah, Jason's been in Facebook jail so many times.
I'm the king of Facebook jail, I tell you that much.
That's why I knew that you were my partner in jail, because I did not know you, but you look very familiar. No, I know that you are in jail with me all the time too.
A fellow Facebook inmate.
Yes, you are my Facebook inmate.
Yeah,
So-
come back to it in a minute. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. Push that to the back. I'll try and get it working, and then we'll come back to it.
So
Yeah.
Marie, did you go to Wellington? Were you there last year for the Freedom Village?
Yeah, we did go to Wellington. So yeah, we when the convoy went past, we went out and supported them when they went past, and then yeah, we went down to Wellington. You know, when Wellington set up and the convoy went down, and everyone set up their tents, and we thought, oh, it's not just us. You know, there's a whole bunch of people here in this country that are experiencing the same sort of issues that we are. Because throughout this project, being involved in this project, you know, the corruption in this country kind of became obvious, how it really works, not how you think it works.
How many
So
people do you have there in your village where you are right now?
probably about a dozen of us, or
So are you growing more, or like are there more and more people coming, or are you always staying at the size,
just
or
come and go. We get different people all the time. Yeah.
so
So yeah,
then?
we went down to Wellington after that first, I don't know, a week or two in. They had a bit of an incident down there with the police. They kind of moved in and got a bit violent, and we were really concerned seeing the police treat New Zealanders like that. So we travelled to Wellington. It's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hour trip from here, and stayed down there a couple of days, and then we went back again not long before the end as well, just to see for ourselves, you know, what they were reporting in the paper about the occupation down in Wellington was just not true. When you got down there, it was just the, you know, most peaceful atmosphere. It was for tahitanga, you know, everyone was united. There was no divisions. It was just, yeah, it was awesome atmosphere. And yeah, pretty inspired by what you guys did over there in Canada. Obviously, you sparked that movement off, and yeah, that was beautiful.
I
Well,
I followed. Sorry, go ahead, Walter.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I followed the convoy in New Zealand. It showed up on my Facebook, and I just started watching it, and that's how I met Jason. He was running the Facebook page. So I cheered for you guys from Canada, just like you guys felt inspired by Canada. I cheered from Canada. I was always cheering and always posting and always saying, watching from Canada, love from Canada, honk honk from Canada, you know. So it was. I'm so glad you were there, that you got to live it. I never got to go to Ottawa. I was 4,000 kilometers away from Ottawa at the time. So now I'm in the area, and I'm kind of staying in the area. But no, it's wonderful that you were there.
Marie, the thing is, I really, really admire you, what you are doing, and we will keep you guys in our prayers and all. But one good thing is, Marie, what you are doing there. I want to do a good thing at Camp Hope for you guys. I will put a New Zealand flag on Camp Hope. So for the 17th of February 17th to the 21st, for the very big movement, Marie, that is for you, for the hard work what you are doing there, that you will be in our minds, and we're going to make some special daily quotes. We have daily quotes on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Camp Hope on YouTube, and we will make daily quotes on there, and we will mention your name on the daily quotes, because that is amazing to see that there's more people like us. And if we can come together with the whole world, and that we can build the community across the world, what the Rosie does here, that is just absolutely amazing. And if we can do more like that, to start uniting people, and introducing people, different people. So like what we are doing here, Rosie, is an amazing thing what you are doing, and that is what we need. We need from all different kind of life like that. And that is our big goal at Camp Hope as well, you know, to connect more and more people. And my big thing is with youth now. And how is it with the youth out there, Marie, if I may ask you?
What? How is it? What? Sorry.
With the young people.
The young
Youth.
people.
Oh, like in New Zealand?
Yeah,
I
how
think
the atmosphere with the young people, is it as desperate? Or I mean, we understand that the suicide That's people are turning. I don't know if you know, but in Canada they've introduced the MAID program, MAID, medical assistant suicide, and they offered it as an alternative to medication. So if you go to the doctor with depression, you can be recommended for euthanasia, basically.
That they show you
Yeah.
a video. They show in a hospital. They show you a video, and you come into a bed, and then you lay down. You watch a very nice movie or video, something what you like with a very nice music, and they give you the needle, and that's how you are gone. So that is
Mm.
the big thing. What youth are starting to do, the young people, and that's what I mean. How is it with the young people in New Zealand?
Yeah, yeah. I think the young people in New Zealand are experiencing exactly those same issues, and that's one thing we try. Like it, it affects all of our families. My oldest son's struggling with that at the moment too. But one of the things that we're trying to do up here where we live is get people back connected with the land. Like get those young people back connected with the land, doing practical things, learning how to garden, hunt, just, those basic survival skills, and give people some sense of pride and belonging and, achievement. So yeah, that's one thing that's really important to us too. And yeah, we live very, quite isolated and rural where we live, and yeah, quite a strong community togetherness, and especially with what we've been going through with this project in our occupations, and yeah, just really supporting each other and being there for each other. And yeah, that's a real issue for our young people. I think it's quite a different world that they're growing up in than what we've grown up in with the social media. And
Oh, it's
yeah,
completely different. We didn't have phones. I'm 50 years old. We didn't have phones. The first phone I got was a gigantic brick.
yeah,
It was one of the big, huge things. But I tell you what, I got. I got this video ready. I'm using Tor. I'm using Tor Onion browser to bypass any censorship, and I also adjusted a few things. So if you accept this, I will start to play.
We are good to go, Jason.
just handing over to Tony too.
How's that sound coming along?
I can't hear anything.
I'm here. I'm Tony. Tony's here.
Hey, how's it going, Tony?
Oh well, we're struggling away. We're trying to protect the great old forest and the ancient forest and whatnot. So I've lived here all my life in this valley, and they're just going to take it off us and destroy it. So I'm real passionate about it, real emotional about it. So all these people that are supporting us here is pretty magnificent, and sounds like all around the world everybody's trying to do the same thing, but not getting the support that people really need.
Well, you know what? We gonna pray for you guys a lot more. And I see in some videos, some from the convoys and all that, and I really admire you, Tony, what you are doing there. It is just absolutely amazing, and I wish that there's more people like you coming out, and may God bless you with what you guys are doing there.
Oh, that's good. It's all about people supporting the people, I think, and if we don't protect the environment, we've got nothing left.
No
That-
farmer. Oh, it's doing that thing, Jason.
Okay, there we go. Let's try see if that works, Jason.
Okay, so I'm taking it. This is the property, right? This is the land you guys are protecting.
Yeah, some of it, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's a gorgeous. I like the rivers down there.
Is that what you talk about?
Yes, I'm trying.
So how
Okay.
big is it, Tony? How big is the land that you're protecting right now?
They've got a designation of 99 hectares to build a 5.2 kilometre road. The existing road here is only 5.3, which is only 100 metres longer than the road that they're proposing to put through my valley and up through the head of the gorge. But they've got a designation of 99 hectares, as I said, to do a 5.2 kilometre road. They've got a work project site of about 32 hectares. They're supposed to build it within, but they're already going outside of that. They've already gone outside the resource consent that was allowed to them in 2021, I think it was. They've already gone outside that, and the New Plymouth District Council are not pulling them over the coals and stopping them like they should be. But what we're fighting for, as Marie said, is the online route, which is option Z, which is a whole kilometre shorter, which is 4.3, only 10% of the environmental damage. To go up through our valley and up through the gorge there, they've drilled 30 metres down in the wetlands and haven't hit hard, and there's water bubbling up, and they want to put a road on it. But they're telling the courts they're going to put it on the side of a hill and not destroy the wetlands. But if you can understand, you cut into a side of a hill in New Zealand, it's covered in native forest, it's very steep in places, a lot of water comes out on the left-hand side of the valley where they're going to put the road. Those whole hillsides are going to fall off. But as Marie said before, as Marie said before, the ecology in this valley is ancient, and that's why there's over 47 species of native species in there. Plus the creeks are full of eels, crayfish, kokapoo, shrimp, mussels. Invertebrates are incredible. The water is that clean you can drink it straight out of the stream.
Oh wow!
So we've got some docos up, and there's another one coming out in about 10 days' time that would explain it. And I really would like the world to hear this, and some environmentalists all around the world to ask New Zealand government and ask New Zealand NZTA why they're doing a road of the most environmentally destructive and environmentally to kill the wildlife in New Zealand when they promote it overseas in the COP27 and everything else, that New Zealand is so clean and green.
That is exactly what this government is doing. They're doing the exact opposite of anything that they say. If they say one thing, they're going to definitely do the opposite. That's the trademark of this particular government.
Absolutely.
Government, I think. Canada, too.
Yeah.
Do as we say, don't do as we do, right?
That's exactly. And we had a very good interaction yesterday with Justin Trudeau in Hamilton. And they showed him that we're at the hotel where he was staying there at the hotel. It was surrounded with people. And today I saw on CTV News, Trudeau is speaking, the handful of intruders coming there. You know what?
There were hundreds of people there. There was a giant convoy. A convoy actually went to Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, did you see that where they went to the restaurant where to eat? They almost took him there, and he said, "Oh no, I am not afraid." That's what he said today in the news. I am not afraid. Only they few people, and then he said, "Oh yeah, there will always be people with different views." He says, "But we have to protect our kids and all that." You know what? Trying to destroy everything, the same thing as you guys, what they do to you guys there. That is what our prime minister does, the same thing.
Yeah, and the same thing's happening here. And the thing is, it's proven of an online route here for 200 million, very little environment damage. But if we don't, we're trying to do the right thing here for the next generations. They're going to pay for this, not just financially, but the ecosystem is going to be killed by this proposed road, and it's one of the last ones in Taranaki in the pristine thing of what it's in, and the clean water. And you got 1,500-year-old remus and ratas and cockatiels and matais in this valley that they're just going to fell down and destroy. So it's going to absolutely poison the water system right down to about 10 kilometres down to the White Cliffs and down to the Tonga-Prutu estuary of all the breeding grounds of all these things. It's not what they're going to do just for one day. This is going to cause problems for decades to come.
Wow.
And we need support, just like you need support. We need the government to have a whole lot of pressure and be embarrassed of what they're doing wrong here. Which, you know, I understand. We're not on computer and that sort of stuff. We understand people trying to do around the world, but we need somebody on a what's the word, in a high place to say, look, enough's enough. Look at this again, which we're trying to do, and people are not listening. Look at this again, and look after whenua. Look after all this beautiful forest we've got, and you know, people don't hear kiwi call or they don't see eel in the creek. We've got all this here, and they've been permitted to kill them by our DOC Department of New Zealand. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Tony, I've got your Mount Messenger bypass documentary loaded into the chat here. It's 11 minutes and 48. It's 11 minutes 48 seconds. It's made by GS Films, so it's actually a remarkable documentary. I've already seen it. I saw it quite a while ago, actually. Probably saw it about cool. six months ago when it first came out. I don't know how old is this documentary, because I have seen this quite a while ago. It came out in 2019. Right. Okay. Yeah, I saw it. Definitely saw it last year. There's another one coming out in about 10 days' time. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I think this popped up. This documentary resurfaced when they took the camp in August, I guess. Yeah, probably yes. Yeah.
Are you going to play it, Jason?
I can.
Are you just going to drop it in the comments there? The link.
I've dropped it in the comments section.
Okay, I'm going to check it out later for sure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful documentary, and like this is the problem with this government. I mean, people have no idea what they're doing. Well, they know what they're doing, but they don't know what they're doing. The amount of species which are protected up until now have been protected. This country is all about protecting the wildlife. So to build a massive highway, to waste public money, to waste taxpayers' money, to give bribes to all their buddies and friends in the construction industry just to save 25 seconds is a typical example of what this government is made of. Absolutely nothing. No backbone whatsoever. Full of corruption.
Don't forget, the previous government in 2017 announced this on the 1st September 2017 to get back into power. Then they lost power, national government, because they wanted to go. They still want it to go through. But we thought with this Labor government, with all their policies to save everything, would have crushed this. But they've just gone along with it and promoted it as well. But they're not getting the truth, and they won't listen to all the stuff that Marie and Russell and everybody does send into them. They're turning a blind eye to it. And so that's what, we're just little people live in a valley that's trying to protect what we've got. But the powers to be just seem to have the wrong motivation or whatever it is to, as you said before, it's all about money and power. What about the people, but especially what about the environment? What about our next generations to come? If we don't do it, we've got clean air. We've got the moss hanging off trees back here, off the cockatiels, and the beautiful clean water. That's why there's 47 plus species in there. That's why long-tailed bats fly up and down the valley. That's why they're all there. It's a clean, not a toxic world. It's completely clean and untouched. And
they want to destroy it.
And as married people say to me, a lady many years ago that her and I made phone videos with this to start with, we walked back the valley and did a lot of things. I know that valley very well. I've lived there all my life. But she said she can find every plant in there to do her Maori medicine to help people that's clean and green and got no toxics in them. To put this road in here and put all their chemical sprays and 1080, everything else, it'll kill that whole environment.
Mass murder. I'd like to segue over to Walter. Walter, are you having these issues in the natural outback in Canada?
Yes, we do. We have very, very big issues. What the government, we have little bit different issues than you guys have there. What the Trudeau government are coming up with an idea now. They want to, because we have lots of our own oils here, and now they want to do in Alberta. They're trying to close the oil refineries and the oil pumps because they want to keep it for caribou. They're saying, oh, we have to protect the Caribou Nation. There is a very big Caribou nation that is not what they want. They want to try to starve everything and bring this whole thing over to the WHO. And our prime Mrs. Freeland, she is one of the top in the WHO, and Justin Trudeau is part of the committee as well of the WHO. And it was about a month ago. Freeland comes to the government there, says, "Hey, I need $2 billion to invest." In West Ware, not even a company is there to invest, but she wants $2 billion to invest, and that is our money there, and that is how they're doing, and they're rising everything up. Food, there's lettuce right now. Lettuce, I know in Quebec it's even worse. There used to be a lettuce like this, used to be like you could put your both hands on it. It used to be about $1.78, like that. You are paying already in Quebec $6 to $9 per lettuce. That is, they're just pushing everything up, and all that money is getting all funneled to the Ukraine, and now they're Trudeau's talking again about putting another massive amount of money to the Ukraine for the war. And it's not the war, it's just to funnel the money through the Ukraine into the WHO. That's what they are doing. And there's so many people, they are with the injuries, with the vaccine injuries. They're just absolutely, we have so many cancers and heart attacks right now. And when people die, they see the blood clots in the bodies. And a very good friend of mine, Mike White Jacket from Wyatt's Funeral Home, he says that there is something very, very wrong right now with what the government, they're still pushing the vaccine, and there's more and more. But here in Canada is the more we speak up, the more we get censored. They are shutting us down. And I don't know, but I have the feeling for the 17th to the 21st, when we have the convoy here, what they're going to do, they're going to send out military and to block all the services so that nobody can do live shows, you know. That is what they want to do. They want to try to silence people when the people come together, because they want to keep them quiet, that nobody finds out. They don't want the world to find out, and that's why we are working together with different countries now to do a convoy, and that's what it calls World Unity Convoy. So if you go onto the internet on World Unity Convoy 2023.com, I think it is. I'll look it up here right away. But if you go onto there, you can see the that's .com. That is World Unity Convoy 2023.com. And you will see that there's going to be lots there, but I have internet at my home. So I will post a lot of videos as we go along. If we cannot do live shows, then I can make videos there, come back, post the videos. And that is what I'm going to do, that the world can see this, you know. And I'm going to try to do it on YouTube, also on Facebook, on Camp Hope YouTube, also on Camp Hope on a Facebook. But they're trying to shut us down. They're trying to silence the people, and not just that. What they're doing, they are putting, when there is something going on, they are bringing their own people in, and then they're coming in, like, let's say, with drugs or something. They're throwing out a bait there, and then some people, they are weak, and then they go and take that bait, and as soon as they take that bait, then they get arrested. Now they shut everything down. Then they say, here, you see, or like they did in Ottawa, like they're trying to make somewhere a division so that people take bait on it, and then that way they can go and quickly shut everything down. And that is a very, very big problem what we have here right now, and they're trying. And I'm getting so many threats and attacks from different people, and now they're trying to find on me on everything. They're trying to find, they're going through my paperwork, they're trying to find something to shut it down. But the one big thing is, I always say, if they're going to take me to jail who is going to be the next one to stand up? Because we have hundreds and thousands of people, and if everybody is thinking that way and just the next one stands up, you know what? Our jails are full. Very soon we're going to need Trudeau's house to put our people in there. So that is a big thing. What we have to come together and tell people not to lose hope. People get tired. You know what? I get tired. A lot of days I'm very, very tired too. But that is a very big problem here with our government. They are not with us. But in Alberta is a very, very good government. The mayor in Alberta, and she is very, very good.
Yeah, the Premier, Danielle. Hi, welcome back, Marie.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I sent you a friend request. I think I did it right. I looked it up there somewhere because I wanted to see a little bit more. I sometimes like to see a little bit more investigation from back and forth. So
Yeah.
different places. And Jason, are you also from New Zealand, or where are you from, Jason?
I'm from New Zealand, sure, but I'm currently living in Vietnam, and we're not experiencing any of this stuff. That's why I'm the oxymoron in the group, because this country, Vietnam, is pushing back and is well aware of what's going on, but it's been revealed, and they're pushing back and they're purging the government of the WEF minions. It turns out they've already tried several attacks to roll the government. They've already tried from a corporate level. They've tried an energy crisis, and the government shut them down immediately and took over and organized oil shipment from all over the country to reroute to where areas were short. And it was a corporate attack on the government. And so now the government is dealing with those corporations that tried to pull an oil crisis. And they said, if you're not pumping oil, your company's getting shut down. End of story. So we're not having any of that stuff. And they're not interested in. I'm living in a breadbasket where there's lots of farming going on. There's no attacks on farmers. There's no attacks on personal liberties, because Vietnam is a mix of both North and South, and South is heavily influenced by the West, and North is heavily influenced by China. So there is a nice little balance here that the government doesn't seem to be able to shake. So they have to balance it out. You see, even though it is by label, it is a socialist country, but by actual action, it's more of a democracy than New Zealand.
Wow.
Much more.
Even here.
So that is so that you guys live way more peaceful out there where you are right now in Vietnam.
Yeah, none of this is going on here. We did have the scamdemic panic, and they soon figured out there was low level. That's why I think it's the prime minister, the number two. I think there's a president and a prime minister, but the number two, the vice leader of the country, has just resigned because he and his family were caught involved in manipulating PCR data to change negative results to positive, so they could suck up all the tax money and turn it into a financial enterprise, which is also what's happened to China. That's why China did a sudden U-turn, because that was also revealed in China as well, that there were low-level government members manipulating the PCR test, exacerbating the scamdemic, the plandemic, exacerbating it to ridiculous levels, and also certain individual leaders that were aligned with the WEF. Say, for example, the Shanghai leader was also aligned with the WEF. So there are two camps. There is a traditional Chinese camp that is inside the CCP, and there's also the WEF Kissinger camp, the old camp, right? So now the Kissinger camp tried to oust Xi Jinping, who was the traditional Chinese camp, because Xi Jinping in 2012 wanted to take China to soft democracy, and I saw that on CCTV myself. I actually saw that on CCTV. And since then, all this madness has happened. The Kissinger crowd and all that have, just sort of gone overboard, tried to form a coup, and that's all politics and stuff. But aside, but point is, it's not happening here. None of this is happening here. So I feel like I'm on an alternative timeline.
Wow! So that is absolutely amazing. And how can I see some more videos from Vietnam? I have never never been really connected to Vietnam there. And I put my name and phone number, email in a private chat there. If you want there, you can take it, Marie, also.
Actually, I
But
have a Facebook group, which I haven't really been working on that much. I've just been sharing stuff over from my other groups, but only just last week, a few days ago, I just started sharing small Vietnamese video content. So I'll do more of that so people can actually see that what I'm talking about, that it's not happening here. It's absolutely not happening, and it's just like business as usual. So I'll do more videos. It's called Vietnam Unmasked. I'll drop the link to you a little bit later on, and then I'll drop it to the group chat a little bit later. But yeah,
So
it's just not happening.
Really working for the people.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
why did you flee New Zealand and went to Vietnam? I understand your freedom to go there, but why going that far? Because New Zealand to Vietnam, that's quite a bit apart.
Yeah, well, I'm actually an English teacher, and I started in 1999 in Japan, and then I left Japan and to go back, and I went to film school for a couple of years, and then I went to China for 7 years as a teacher, as an English teacher, and then they brought in the social credits. This is when this thing started to break down, when the two camps really went at it. The Kissinger WF aligned group brought in the social credit system, you see. So they brought that in, the scanning and all that. So I was actually had just left, so I was quite lucky. And by that time, I was living in Vietnam, and I've been here now for 6 years. So I haven't evaded New Zealand. I just haven't been back there because it's just like I've known since basically 2010 that the prices are ridiculous. You have to be a super duper rich guy to live in New Zealand comfortably. And why should I bother paying all those taxes? 20% of my income tax? Are you crazy? New Zealand government, 20% of your income tax? I barely paid 2%, barely, if that. You know,
But
it's ridiculous. What they've done is they've pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. And when you step out of the country and you go out and you see a place like, China or Vietnam or even Japan, you can see, there's a lot of overreach in New Zealand.
So
There has been for
in
many, many
Vietnam,
years.
you must also get winter there, cold winter and stuff like that, or what?
In the north, it's a bit snowy near the China border. But here, I'm in winter, but it's about, I guess it's about 32, 33 degrees here, Celsius. It's summer. It's always summer. It's never cold.
I am moving to Vietnam.
Yeah, come on over, mate. I'll get the Barbie sorted out.
Oh, now we are talking. Let's
Yeah.
go get some nice beef ribs and let's have some very nice barbecue.
We could just pick a cow up off the street, mate. They'll roam around the street here, and the chickens and the pigs. But I tell you what I've done. I've dropped in links.
Because I'm a butcher too. I butcher my own meat, so why not?
Perfect. We'll start our own Vietnamese foreign-owned cattle butcher company, and then we'll supply New Zealand, Australia with real beef. But what I've done here is I've dropped in links in our YouTube. This is a live going on Rosie Convoy's channel. So I've dropped in the links for YouTube videos on About Mount Messenger. I've also dropped in the Redneck Lifestyle channel. I've also dropped in Camp Hope YouTube channel. And I've also about to just copy and V. Now, this is the Freedom Hope Canada Facebook page is also now dropped into the link. So anybody watching this can just go zoom down to the link.
The Freedom Hope Canada page, that one we want to close, so I would not drop that one in there because the Freedom Hope one, that is not a page, that is just a Facebook. And Camp Hope, Freedom Hope Canada, that one is just this one here. That is just a Facebook, and we're going to close that one down. So we are going to use only the Camp Hope one, like the one what I showed you before.
Okay.
This one right here. That is the only, Jason.
Sorry, well.
Okay, we'll switch. No problem. We'll switch that out when the information comes through to me. No problem.
Yeah. So that way is that. But but where can I see more from Marie, more videos, and from you, Jason? I need to see this more because this is stuff what I can also teach to people when they lost hope. because sometimes what I find out when people lost hope, if you can help them and start uh, painting them a picture in with the words and how they go through it, that is sometimes what helps to bring them back onto their feet again.
Yeah, well, I've dropped in all those links and I'll do a bit more. But yeah, that's right. Don't give up because there are governments out there fighting this thing. It's not the whole world. And this is where people get into despair. They think the whole world is going this way. And I will admit, I did it. I actually did initially, even though I'm pretty stoic about these things. And I was very concerned that this was a global thing, completely global thing. Well, they're attempting. It's now being the West these elites have tried to pull the wool over the world, but it's been sort of narrowed back now, and now it's only the obvious people who are still going along with it that are the cause of it. And now a lot of governments know this, and even citizens know this, so they're well aware of some of the things. Although the average Joe, the average person here, I mean, isn't very politically minded, but people that are in the know, they kind of get it. They understand what's happening. Definitely, this government gets it.
Well, that is a very good thing because I am originally from South America, Paraguay. That's where I'm originally from, and there the WEF is not in there either. But the WEF offered Paraguay money, and the government of Paraguay says no, 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 we don't want that dirty money. So leave it out. They are still standing strong. But right now, there's a big war going on in Bolivia and Brazil. Argentina, Peru is going very, very strong right now. And then Peru, there is a big thing going on, and they're talking about that might go to war. In Bolivia, they have tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. They have something big going on in Bolivia. And so they are hoping for a peaceful resolution there, but they don't know. They're very doubtful if that is not all of a sudden going to burst out, because there is the same thing. The government hires people and puts them in the backside, and that's the same thing what the government did here in Canada, in Ottawa. They hire people to put out the baits. And the same thing here in Winnipeg, they have all different kind of people. They put them out for the bait, and then some of the people, they go and take the bait, and then they can shut everything down. Then they can do it. And we are learning from that. Okay, no, when there is a bait, okay, no, we don't touch it. Now we are calling the police, and sometimes when you find that out later on, oh, that's just a cover up. The police come in and just take them down and moving them out, and then they let them go in the back part,
Amazing. Oh, well, there's so much to cover. The problem is we're running out of time. We've gone 24 minutes over our schedule, but man, it's been intense and fantastic to learn about all these things. So I'm just wondering, Madam Marie, now that you've listened to our rant, because we do like to rant around here, have you got any other statements that you'd like to clarify about Mount Messenger and the future?
Yeah, just we believe the future is just a change of the option for Mount Messenger. It's really the only solution, and it's a win-win for everyone. Like, it's a win for the New Zealand Transport Agency because they still get an upgraded, safe and resilient route. They actually save about $1 million. $100 million and counting. And we get to save the environment. So yeah, it's really a no-brainer. We got court proceedings coming up next month. So the government are trying to take the Pasco whānau land by compulsion at the moment. So yeah,
they're actually trying to take so that land belongs to the Pascos, does it?
Yeah, some of it does. Yeah, a big portion of it, 2 kilometres of it. So yeah, we've been trying to protect that. So yeah, we've got some challenges coming up. So
and you're supported by the tangata whenua, the local tribe there?
Yep. So yeah, this occupation's a joint occupation between Ngāti Tama and Potama. So
Okay, I think you
yeah,
said that at the beginning, but just to recap for people who had come in a little bit late.
yeah. But yeah, if you've got a spot on next week, you might be able to hear some more from the people that are here.
Yeah, that sounds super interesting. And how long has Mr. Carl Barkley been down there? That boy's everywhere.
Couple of weeks. Yeah, no, Carl's been amazing. Yeah, no, really awesome support.
He certainly gets around, and he's fit as a fiddle as well, that guy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's been awesome. He's been down in the valley with Tony. Was it yesterday? Tony and Carl went down there yesterday to put up some trespass signs, and yeah, we found right up near the head of the valley where the headwaters are, they've actually been in there, or the day before, they've actually been in there and cut a whole lot of trees down by this beautiful waterfall, and it's just devastation down there. There's some videos which we can share with you that were taken 2 days ago. So they've just felled a whole lot of trees, and just they've just fallen into the stream. It's just devastation. We don't think their works that they're doing, doesn't look to us as though they're following their, what their consent conditions. There's no sediment controls or anything. They've just clear felled all this forest just straight into this beautiful stream. It's just, yeah.
Maureen, you have to send me videos from there like that.
Yeah, we'll share it, Walter, and then we'll share it in Canada, and we'll get the word out. Too.
We'll send you the link to this live. We'll send you the link to this live when we're done, and you'll see that I've dropped in all the links that we're talking about today. So we've got Marie's YouTube channel there as well. Marie, and we've got the GS Media, I think they're called GS Films, the mini doco, which is like 11 minutes long on Mount Messenger, which is really well made in HD, interviewing Tony Pascoe over there, which I was really surprised that you actually had there with you, because that's how I learned about this. It sort of dropped at the same time that all the action took place at the top there by the cable tower. Is the cable car tower? Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're up. Yeah, that's when all this dropped in August, and really came to the. Although I knew now that I didn't even realize it had been going since 2019, but that's when it surfaced for me anyway. When you did that, so wow, yeah, with all those links dropped in there already, Walter. So we'll send you the link to this live, and then you can watch away and have a good time.
Quick question: there's a comment here. What is the word about the new leader of New Zealand?
Probably more of the same. I think the Chris Hipkins and Jacinda Ardern were in the Young Socialist Club together many years ago. So yeah, just more of the same. So when the Parliament occupation was on, like, we've got 120 members of Parliament in our country. So when that occupation was on, all the 120 members of Parliament from all the different political parties signed a pact together that they would not go out and talk to the people that were camped outside their parliament. So from what we can see, all of those, there's no opposition parties.
Because they don't represent the people in New Zealand.
Yeah, all of the different parties are actually all the same. That's my observation anyway. Yeah, no genuine opposition, which you would expect in a proper democracy.
I have
not at all.
I have to take a quick second too and ask people that are watching if they could like and share and subscribe. If you put something in the comments, write a comment. It helps with the algorithm. So if you guys could do that, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate that.
Yes, and don't forget to click on my profile image, and you'll go to the State of the Nation and click like and share, and don't forget to hit the button to get all the drops, because even though you subscribe, if you don't hit that notification bell, you don't actually get it till like 16 days, 16 hours, or maybe 16 days or 16 years later, the way YouTube's algorithm works. Yeah. So I was thinking, Rosie, perhaps we could spend just a few minutes with some questions. Maybe the people watching may have a question for either Marie or Walter? What do you think?
That was the only one that kind of picked up here. Dickered with Dave is in here, so he says Bajordo. But yeah, Brian asked what is the word about the new leader of New Zealand?
Oh, okay.
No, it's just more of the same. I mean, how?
Yeah, it's one of her best friends from when they were like young people. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming he's a sleeper. Yeah, young global leader. He's probably a sleeper.
Cut from the same cloth as Trudeau.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been hanging around with each other for years, even before Parliament.
Yeah.
Well, they are all puppets, guys. That is. There's the bigger guys. They have their hands up their butts and they're playing with the puppets. That's basically all that
Like
is.
Dunham.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jeff Dunham does it with the puppet and talks, and that is
Yeah.
what our leaders too. They Justin Trudeau. He is just for the looks of it there.
Here's an interesting comment that's just come through. The Citizen Broadcasting Cooperative says in New Zealand, you can't leave the hospital unit. You can't leave the hospital until you take the test. I guess that is the PCR test. Now, that's another thing about the PCR testing. Now, considering that China and Vietnam has now exposed lower level people in government that have been manipulating the PCR test for financial enterprise to enrich themselves, I'm waiting for someone in New Zealand to actually begin that investigation in New Zealand as well. And I bet you if you follow the dirty money, you'll get a dirty answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It said you follow the science. Well, every time I follow the science, it leads me to the money.
Yeah, that's right. That's a Mr. Bean. That's a Mr. Bean meme.
Yeah, that is correct. And that is the same thing with Justin Trudeau. That every time there is the science that it goes, you follow the science, leads right to the money because their science, they are worth absolutely nothing.
And the thing about science too is you're supposed to be able to question it.
Absolutely.
So what kind of science can you not question? I don't know. It sounds like you're trying to find another word.
Rosie lives very close to Justin Trudeau there. I live further away. I live in Manitoba and she lives in Ottawa.
Yeah, you're about a day's drive away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My very first internet friend on Yahoo, when it first came out, like they had the Yahoo groups. My very first internet friend was from Manitoba. She was a indigenous native person. Was from Manitoba. Can you believe that? How's that? Full circle.
Well, if people want to message me or contact me, I am always willing. Not that I respond right away, but when I start knowing who that is, but I get a lot of scams too. A lot of times I start asking questions first before I respond too much or get into deeper conversations.
Ash Reborn, just want to pop this in. Ash Reborn has said, talking about the new Prime Minister, that was a reference made by Vinnie Eastwood originally. So I stole it from Vinnie Eastwood. If you're watching, I give him credit for that. Ash Reborn says he is named as one of the primary architects to the COVID response. So that speaks volumes alone. Well, there you go. Follow his money.
So that's the guy.
Let's get the audit done.
That's the guy who stepped in after Jacinda to take her place.
Yeah, Chris Hipkins.
Okay. All right. Well, we kind of know what he's about then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got elections coming up this year, so they'll all be electioneering hard soon.
I wish we could just have our own government, our own people, because we got such a vast movement now. It's really flourished in 2022. It really, really flourished, and that would be awesome to get like logical people up there and actually do the job that they're hired to do. Because that's what we're doing. We're hiring them. They're not ruling us. We are hiring them. We need to get rid of our hire and get a better hire.
Can you imagine a question period where they actually answer questions and don't just ask them?
Yeah. I would just like to acknowledge the New Zealand Outdoors and Freedom Party. They've been Sue Gray as their co-leader, and their other co-leader is Donna Pawketi Phillips. So, yeah, New Zealand Outdoors and Freedom Party have been long-time supporters of us here at Mount Messenger. Sue's represented the Pascoes in one of the Environment Court hearings in 2020. And yeah, they've just been awesome support for getting this option changed. Also, just wanted to acknowledge the Green Party as well. Eugenie Sage holds the environmental portfolio for the Greens, and Julianne Genter holds the transport portfolio for the Green Party in New Zealand, and they are strongly in support of us as well, and a change of option to option Z. We had an acknowledgement from the Greens just the other day that this current option is just an environmental disaster and a waste of taxpayer money. And the other person just wanted to acknowledge too was Nicole McKee from the ACT Party in New Zealand. She was the only MP that would sign our petition and present it into Parliament in the interest of democracy. So I would like to acknowledge New Zealand Outdoors and Freedom Party, the Green Party as well, for supporting us in changing this project, and Nicole McKee from ACT.
Excellent. All right, Walter, any words of hope and encouragement here as we kind of wind things down and finish up?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking Walter. Yeah, Marie, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do everything we can.
I would encourage everybody that you know what, don't lose hope. Keep your faith going, and if we will stand all together and pray for each other, that we will win, because it says very clearly in the Bible that good always wins over evil, and that sometimes it looks like evil is going to win, but it does not win. On the end, it plays out that good always wins again. And always try to help people what wanted to help themselves. And when you find out that there is a lot of threats against you, then you know that you are doing something good. So acknowledge it what you are doing, because when you're doing it something right, that is when people, they will win. And one big thing is, people would have a lot of money, they are not rich. You are rich when you know how to plant a garden, when you know how to butcher your own meat, how to live off grid. You are the rich. You are rich. And I know all that. I've been growing up like that. I am rich. But that money, when that comes down, that there's no more food, that money will help you absolutely nothing. With the money, you can go and wipe your bum with it. That's basically all there is going to be. If you will know that you plant your garden and harvest your thing, you are very, very rich. Remember that, because the money is not going to bring you in heaven. Money is evil. That's what it is. And that is what I would really encourage you guys. You know what? Let's work with our young people and bring the young people out and teach them how to make their gardens, how to live off grid, and how to connect with the land, come back together with the land again. When the young people will start finding it out, our next generation is looking good. But right now, I want to let you know, our next generations, what I see what's going to happen, that's going to be walking zombies. That's basically what they're going to be, because they're all in front of their cell phones. And if we will not work very hard on our young generation, we will lose everything. And later on, they will ask us, why did you not stand up? And that's why I'm standing up and doing this. And that's what I would encourage each and every one of you guys. And we will pray for each and every one of you guys, and especially Marie there in New Zealand, and Jason. That is, I'm kind of jealous. You are in such a peaceful country living right now, and nothing to deal with that, and where we are struggling here. And here our banks are starting to take people's money away. People go. Scotia is known very much right now, the Scotia Bank, that they're taking money away, and that's why I said, you know what? I want to encourage you. That money does not mean nothing on the end of the day. It is what you know, how you can live off grid. That is the main thing, and I would encourage each and every one of them. And God, may God bless you richly with that, and be happy, because the more money you have, the least happy you are. The less money you have and live off the land and connect with the land, the happier you are. That is the main thing. And I would just love to encourage you that. And I would love to give each and every one of you guys a very big bear hug. That is what I would love to do. And thank you very much for it. Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for having me on the show, and to meet you guys all, and I wish you a very blessed night
You might,
and a blessed day.
you might want to stay on the line. I think the police have just turned up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nice to talk
Well,
to you.
yeah,
fellas.
let's roll it. Let's roll it.
You know what?
Police are all-
Want to show us?
Let's roll it.
This live
Let's
just
just
got
go and
very
see.
exciting.
Let's see what happens there.
Oh man,
Police
Here
or
we
what?
go.
the police just showed up, Walter.
Oh,
While they're walking over to see the police officers, I just want to do a very quick shout out for the World Unity Food Drive, which
Yes.
is a project from State of the Nation and Rosie Convoy, and of course our partners in the World Unity Convoy 2023. East
Yes.
West actually it's East West Convoy, East Convoy to Winnipeg, East Convoy to
and
Winnipeg.
west. Yeah, east and west convoy to Winnipeg.
That's right. That's right. So New Zealand, we're not doing a convoy. Well, it looks like we've got a poll up at the moment if they want to have a convoy or they just want to have a local food drive. But once they get to Winnipeg and they finish their activities there on the way back, they're going to be dropping a whole lot of needy food off to communities in is it the Camp Hope area?
Yes, and Camp Hope. Camp Hope is just outside of Winnipeg. Camp Hope is by Dougal Road. Dougal, Manitoba is Camp Hope, and Winnipeg is probably about 3 miles away from here. Is Winnipeg, and they're going to drop the food off in their shelters there, because the big problem is we have so many people in need. So many people what are short on the food and supplies, and our government takes the money and sends it to Ukraine, funnels it there for the WHO, instead of helping our people. And that's why we are doing this food drive for everybody. And one big thing is at Camp Hope till now, we bought all the food, and we gave it to the people. We make food, and when we have gatherings, we gave it to the people that they have at least to eat. And we have a lot of times we have people that say, "Well, I didn't have lots to eat. Can I eat here?" Well, definitely you can eat. Give them the food, eat. Like, that's why we make the food to eat. And it is starting, and it's going to get worse, but something big is going to happen. And if God willing, eventually that I could travel across the countries, I would love to go to New Zealand and go to you there, Jason. And I almost said Afghanistan, but it's not the
Barbecue territory.
yeah.
Okay, Marie, how's it going on over there?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
happened with?
not too bad. They just turned up looking for a couple of our girls. So what's
Oh.
been happening the last couple of days is, so NZTA took some of our property in November, which we just got back after Christmas, and a couple of days after we got it back, they stole some other property, took some other property from here. So we've made a second complaint for theft with the New Zealand police. But yeah, the girls went down to try and recover our stolen property yesterday and the day before. So yeah, the police were just up here looking for a couple of our girls that were trying to recover our stolen property.
So just a follow up on the stolen stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. They might be trying. Maybe they've recovered it and they want to return it to us. I'm not sure.
Right. Okay, well, Jason, did you have any final words or any last thoughts? No, you're pretty much good, and you're muted. Okay, well, I just want to thank you, Marie. Thank you so much, and tell Tony thank you so much for coming on the show. Walter,
Thank you
Just
for having us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very
we'll
nice
make
to
sure
meet
that
you.
we spread
We're probably
as
gonna
much. Yeah, we'll raise
prob-
awareness as much as we can here in Canada.
Hey, I like the bearded guy with the nice long beard. I'm getting a beard too, but I like his beard.
That's Mr. Carl.
Isn't that the fiddle player I saw there on Marie's Facebook page?
Oh, my brother's got a big long beard too, Russell.
Oh, I saw somebody with the fiddle there.
Yeah, just said that was. Is that Russell or Carl standing next to you?
Oh, this is Carl.
Yeah, that's Carl. Yeah, that's
Carl, I love your beard.
Carl. Show us your face because we didn't see your face on the last interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was-
maybe you couldn't access the camera.
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
right.
So Carl, what brings you in that neck of the woods?
Oh, when I was heading down south for my trip around the South Island, talking to people about Marsden Point, I called in at Tony and Debbie's, and they asked me to come back, and I've now got the opportunity to be here. So I'm only too happy to be here and sharing them what's going on with them and trying to get a resolve for them. And I had the pleasure. Marie took me down to the property a couple of weeks ago, and then Tony and me went down a couple of days ago and put these trespass signs up. So it was good to be down there with Tony, and he got quite emotional when he saw what they'd done at the waterfall, which is fair enough because it's the start of the headwaters of their pristine little valley. And whatever they're doing now is minor compared to what they're going to do once they start get diggers and a bulldozer in here and start ripping away at the hillside. It's just all going to wash down into that pristine stream, and there won't be any pristine stream.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so Carl,
just to make
so that I
sure-
can explain to Walter who you are. You're Walter. Just so you know, New Zealand used to have an oil refinery, and the government shut it down last April. So now they have to bring all those products in. And
Yeah,
Carl Barkley here, who's on the phone, he started the awareness campaign to try to save the Marsden Point, the oil refinery, the only one that's in New Zealand. So that's who Carl is. That's who's talking right now. He's with Operation Good Oil. And
Yeah,
Carl, make sure you keep take care of your beard there because that beard looks very nice.
Well,
I
Carl-
didn't actually start the campaign. There was there's several groups that have been doing it. I was with Brad Flaherty's digging at Marsden. We were parked outside the gate, but that sort of fell apart as far as we're concerned. And Levi and them had already started their Operation Good Oil. We're all part of the same thing. And there's another group they call themselves SOUR, which is Save Our Unique Refinery. And Marsden Point used to use sour crude from Saudi Arabia, so that's how they came across their name. But I sort of got on the road a bit more and been around talking to a lot of people, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people about what's going on. And it's at a point where it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money to get it reconstructed. But at the end of the day, we need it. And if you look at some of the media recently, Iraq's just built a new oil refinery, cost them several $7 billion to build it. But the funny thing is, our government tried to tell us that Marsden Point was too small and uneconomic. Well, Iraq's just built this one, and it's 140,000 barrels per day. Marsden Point used to be 96,000 barrels per day, and it gave us 70% of our fuel. So it's only 16,000 barrels a day short of this new Iraqan one. So
it's all smoke and mirrors, mate. It's all smoke and mirrors of this government.
Yeah.
it's all meant to cripple us in the end.
Yeah.
Well, what I've come across a document recently by a Christian guy. I can't remember. I think it's Brian Smith. He's been around for a long time, and there was an article that he did about what's happening in the world, and particularly about New Zealand. In the 1960s, the World Bank came to New Zealand and gave Keith Holyoake's national government a big wad of money, And funny enough, 1960 was when that happened, but the following year, 1961, is when Marsden Point was started. And 2 years later, it was operational. So we've had all this money being given to us by overseas people, but it's all got fishhooks and strings tied to it. And some of those fishhooks and strings are that we closed down our government departments, like the Ministry of Works that used to fix the roads that we're talking about here, build bridges and hydro schemes. We had the railways, forestry, telecom, NZED, 5 or 6 different government departments that employed hundreds of thousands of Kiwis, really. Railways in its day had 25,000 people employed there. And so the idea was to get rid of all these people and then get all these organisations into private enterprise and try and sell them all off. And that's what they've been doing. And it's just getting worse and worse. And then we get a project like this one here, where it's all about money. It's not about building a good road and a good spot. This road, the State Highway 3, was built where it's been built because it's on the ridge line. It's up high, out of the where it's cold and damp and wet. It's pretty hard country to put a good road through here because it's not solid rock. It's a sandstone papa sort of country. It's falling apart all the time. But it needs maintaining and realigning the road, building a new tunnel just where we are, and building another bridge around the corner and straightening all the bends out. Within 3 years, this road would be finished, where this other project's a 10-year project. And the Pascoes have been fighting this for 6 years. So 3 years ago, this project could have been finished if they had stuck with option Z, which is a state highway.
What was wrong with the state highway?
Oh, it's the state highway. All our roads, they were designed 100 years ago not to carry the freight that's going on them now, because we don't put a lot of freight on rail, and a lot of our communities don't have rail going to them anymore. So you've got to rely on road transport. And unfortunately, our road transport a number of years ago upped the load capacity of our trucks, so that the massive trucks. And the Europeans come out here and they say, we can't understand why you're running these big trucks on your roads. Your roads are not suited for that. They're not autobahns and big straight highways. A hill country and pretty steep, rugged country where our roads are. But saying that, they could lower the gradient in this road and put a tunnel in and build a bridge and cut out a lot of bends, and it would become more suitable. But on that note, we need to be using our Marsden Point bitumen, which is no longer available, which was a higher quality than the poor quality stuff they've been bringing in for the last 2 years from overseas at 3 times the price.
So, Carl, would you come on my show at some point and elaborate a little bit more? Or if there's a new development, is that something that would interest you in coming back?
I think the next development is that this country is going to run out of fuel because we don't have enough tankers coming to New Zealand. Dave Trotter and myself have been following them. I've been following them since June. I think Dave's been doing it a bit longer than that. I do it on a manual basis in my big notepad, and he does it on a spreadsheet, and we complement each other. And we've got a couple of other ladies that are helping us as well now. And about 6 weeks, 2 months ago, we both noticed that the number of tankers that were coming to New Zealand had dropped down quite significantly. And we've been following that closely ever since, and going to the port companies' websites, the 10 port companies around New Zealand websites, and then look at the shipping schedules, which actually gives us all the ships that are coming in. It indicates which ones are fuel tankers, which ones are molasses, methanol, whole lot of acid tankers, which are coming in to unload their products, which are not fuel, but you'd think they are fuel because they're tankers. And then we end up finding some of these fuel tankers coming in partly laden, and other ones are coming in with ballast, which means they've got water on board. They're not even bringing any fuel here. They're coming to pick up our crude oil or take that away. And another one's picking up tallow to take away to make biodiesel, or biofuels. So
when that report comes out, would you be interested in coming back, maybe with Levi or with
Yep.
David?
He's going to send me a copy of it, and we'll have a look. So
okay.
they've been trying to work out what the fuel volumes are, but. There's no way we can work that out. All Dave and me are working on, we've got a couple of other ladies that are helping us as well now, and we've got a couple of other ladies that are helping us as well now. And Dave and me are working on, is that the number of ships that are coming, the regularity of where they're going to, whether they're doing a one port call like Marsden Point. Quite a few ships will come in there and they'll only do one call and go away again. But because the numbers are now dropped back quite significantly, we're not getting 3 or 4 going to Marsden Point over a month. We're getting 1s and 2s, and then some of those are actually ended up going around New Zealand and having to drop off other fuel. And we seem to have every time, like we've got two tankers coming in the next couple of days, 28th to 29th. And then I think I've just found another one. But there's other ones that are staying around just to make it look like we've still got a few tankers here, but they're at the last of their drop-off. And it's almost like they're hanging around just to wait to see where we need a bit more. And the fuel is now like just-in-time fuel, like just-in-time parts to all the businesses, manufacturers in the world. And if you get something goes wrong with the supply chain, your just-in-time runs out and you've got no fuel.
Yeah.
Because these tankers are taking anywhere between 18 and 22 days to get from Asia, and most of our fuel is coming from Taiwan, Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, bit out of China, Japan. There's about seven overseas Asian ports or refineries are coming from, and then we've got 2 refineries in Australia supplying us. They're about a 6-day to get them here. So, but they normally only come over with smaller tanker.
Mm-hmm. It still confuses me why they shut down the refinery, and now it's supposed to be environmentally good to bring it all in from all over the place. It makes no sense to me. But I should kind of start wrapping things up here. Thank you so much, Carl, for popping in right at the end. I can't wait to have you back, and we'll talk about the report once that's released. Walter, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a real blessing to have you here. You're
Thank you very much.
Much fun to hang around as I remember. We stayed at his place on the convoy over. We spent the convoy stayed at Walter's and he fed us. It was wonderful. So say hi to the family.
I will definitely do that, and thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure to meet each and every one of you guys, and you guys in New Zealand there, just stay strong, pray, and stay strong and stay together. That's all I can tell you. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and Jason, thanks again for co-hosting with me. Again, check us out on Facebook, the new group, the World Unity Food Drive. We're trying to start an international movement. It's kind of picking up some steam in New Zealand. And the World Unity Convoy, the East and the West are both looking into it as well, because it is, in the end, going to be a food drive. We are going to be raising money, food, for people
raising food.
Food insecure. So we're going to try to help those that are needing it. Kind of like everybody did in Wellington and New Zealand, and also in Ottawa. We came together, and with donations, everybody got fed, everybody was happy, and we had a plenty. So thank you again, Marie, for being here. I'm just going to wrap this all up now. We will keep in touch, okay? I will find you on Facebook and wherever else we have to. So thanks to everybody who was watching. Thanks and for the comments. I appreciate everybody who stuck it out, and I think we might get it just under 2 hours.
Praise the Lord.
All right. All the best to everybody. Yep.
Have a good night.
Nice to meet you, Walter, Jason, Rosie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All the best.
You too, guys. Don't forget, freedom!
Okay, on that note, thanks everybody, and we'll post again soon when the next live will be. So thanks again. All right, love you guys. Stay strong.
Love you
Stay
too.
healthy. Bye now. Thanks.
Bye-bye.